Hey everyone, my name is Tom and welcome back to Only Nature. So in this video, I'm going to continue with my wildlife photography of this year, and I'm going to share with you my process from start to finish, from going out this morning with my camera right the way to editing the images that I captured here on my laptop. And not everything went to plan, but that's part of the fun of it. So here we go. This is me getting up this morning. I'd set my alarm to wake up an hour before sunrise. As I'd packed my bags the night before, I thought this would give me plenty of time to get ready for the day by first of all making myself a nice hot coffee to take with me out into the cold. After waiting for a bit of rain to blow over, I finally arrived just as the sun was starting to rise. I made my way down to the lake, and already at this point I could tell there wasn't much wildlife. Certainly not enough activity to keep me in this spot. So I kept wandering and walked around until I finally saw a few more birds. It was still windy, but the water was relatively calm, which I was hoping would make for some really good images. The light was fantastic at this point, so I had to take a minute to just stop and look out at the view. Oh, and yeah, it was slippy. As I started to walk further around the lake, I was really beginning to worry that I wasn't going to have much luck at this spot. A few birds here and there caught my eye, so I tried my best to get close, but unfortunately, as soon as I did, they all flew away. So I took this as a sign and decided to move on and try a different location. After finding a new potential location, I decided to finally change over the lens on my camera and start shooting some wildlife. Unfortunately, this lake was really quiet too, and I'm starting to think that due to the recent bad weather, most of the wildlife has probably either moved on to a different location or is probably just tucked away hiding somewhere trying to keep warm. However, you can always rely on there being a few of the more common species, like these ducks, flocks of gulls, and almost always a pair of swans. And as it turns out, if these common birds hadn't been there or I hadn't bothered photographing them, then I would have probably come away with nothing. So it shows to never just dismiss common species. Always try, use the experience and practice your wildlife photography on even the most basic of species at times. Now, in between a lot of these clips, I did continue walking around the lake and the various areas, but unfortunately, I just didn't see anything much at all. And that's okay, at least I got out and I tried, and that's what I'm trying to do more of this year. Okay, so now I'm back inside. I've finally warmed up from that cold weather. I've offloaded my images onto my computer, and what I always do straight away is start by creating some folders and then imported those photos into each folder. So really quickly before I begin, I can take a look through some of these and decide which ones aren't very good and which ones I don't want. And then once I'm happy, I'm just going to open Lightroom and import all of those images into a brand new catalog. Okay, so now I've got my catalog open. I'm just going to go on to import photos. So with those selected, there's a couple here that I'm actually going to get rid of as well, just seeing from the images. And then that's it. We can hit import. And then we're just going to wait till they're fully imported before we even begin to edit the photos. And as you can see, there's really not many. I really struggled today. There wasn't much wildlife, and what little wildlife there was too far away and I couldn't get very good images. Okay, now with those imported, we can finally get to look at some of these images. And I can tell already straight away, this one in particular, I took this as an example of what not to do in photography. The point of this is framing the shot, so actually looking down on the birds like this and with them swimming away from you, you'd rather get them facing you or coming towards you. But just look at the difference it makes compared to a shot like this, and as you can tell, that's a totally different image. Again, it's probably not great with this bird being slightly in front of this one, and it's not the sharpest image. It's really not focused on there very well, but overall such an improvement. And again, it's the simplest adjustment. Just crouch down, keep your camera and lens as low to the floor as possible. You want to be in line with that water level, and you can get some really great images. Yeah, so I think like for an image like this, it could be quite a good Instagram kind of image. So I want to go on here, go 8x10, and then just reduce that frame. Something like that. I want to get it kind of in the middle. And then we can crop it like that. Then we can level the horizon, which is always an important one. Auto does a pretty good job. If not, you can always click on the angle straight across here. And it's hard to see because of the light, but it's pretty much like that, I think. Okay, and then again, the first thing I'll do is probably just adjust the exposure slightly, but then drop those highlights. Just bringing back a bit of detail in the feathers. Always go on my Mac, it's options, and then slide this down so I can see what blacks are in the image. This is important. And do the same with the whites. So that much is in the image. And for that, I'm just looking at the histogram over here as to where it's touching. And already that looks slightly better, a bit more contrast, which is good. People tend to over edit, and sometimes it's better to just walk away and come back the next day to see how things are looking, because sometimes you can get carried away. But definitely with wildlife, I tend to prefer a more natural look. Okay, that one was nice. That's a nice one. Again, very close. It was far too close, really, for the lens that I had. But I quite like close-ups of like bigger birds, just to focus in on the details. There's a lot of detail in this head, so let's go over to develop this one. And first of all, again, I think I go straight to the black and white on this one. So I'm just holding the Option key and then sliding up till I've got a bit of white in the image. And then back down on the blacks, and I can go a bit more in the black because I know that beak and that eye should be black. That's probably a little bit too much. Okay, I'm going to raise the exposure slightly. I'm actually overexposed this, and then reduce the highlights slightly, and then raise the shadows. I feel like you can, yeah, look at that detail. You can see the tree in the background. You can see the body of the other swan here as well. That's amazing. And then, yeah, it looks kind of warm, this one. I might cool it down a little bit. That was good. That looks nice. But yeah, so we can have a quick look at the before and after of that image. As you can see, it didn't take a lot, but it's really brightened it up. Probably maybe slightly too much, but I like that. I think that looks good. And again, we can do the same kind of thing with this image. So let's just expose it quite a bit. Turn down the highlights slightly. And just quickly, before and after, you can see that real big improvement. Maybe just decrease the highlights slightly. And there we go. Not bad. Not bad. Not great either. But there we go. If I've learned anything, I guess it's that no matter what, just keep going and keep trying. Because there were times today when I could have easily given up, but I didn't. And as a result, I actually got a couple of usable images. So that's my takeaway. If you've enjoyed this video, then please let me know in the comments down below. And don't forget to subscribe for future videos. Hope you've enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.